watching Getting Ahead, a special series on startups. I'm Shruti Mathur, and in today's edition, we bring to you those two startups that cater to the services sector. Let's find out more about them. Due to ambulance delays, patients and accident victims in India often do not get medical attention on time. But with its cloud-based fleet management solutions for hospitals as well as private and public fleet owners, Hyderabad-based eSahai hopes to make a difference. Delays are pretty common in our country. Although most Indian states have ambulances as per the World Health Organization's requirement, few reach patients in time due to lack of information and infrastructure. In our country, ambulances are still considered vehicles that merely transport trauma victims and are not fitted with life-saving equipment such as resuscitators, oximeters, blood pressure monitors, oxygen equipment, and defibrillators. Taking cognizance of this crucial gap in the healthcare industry, Hari Bharadwaj decided to transform ambulances into life-saving vehicles that go beyond the usual function of transporting victims. Thus, eSahai was born.
It's a brand we operate in a couple of cities right now, and what we do is primarily within the medical transportation and geriatric space. We will talk more about it in a bit. But we've started this operation about a couple of years ago, but commercially we've launched in Hyderabad in April 2017. Since then, there's no looking back, and the journey has been absolutely brilliant.
So eSahai, basically we will handle both emergency and non-emergency transportation for the patients. In India, I see the problem is getting ambulance within the 10-15 minutes time is a challenge. So we decided to solve that issue. Then we started eSahai, and so now we are having a fleet of 168 ambulances in Hyderabad itself and 34 ambulances in Visakhapatnam. And we are maintaining average response time is 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, so 12 to 15 minutes is very minimal, and that's what we want to reduce it for 9 minutes, which is a world standard.
The whole idea came up when I was actually, before this, I was with Amazon. I was working with Amazon as a director in India operations, and before that I was with Accenture as a managing director for almost 10 years. So the reason for me quitting a corporate job and wanting to do something of my own, and that came up about, and then we're looking at what to be done. Then healthcare happens to be close to my heart. And again, within healthcare, if you look at it, it's a very vast field, right? And within that, what is that we wanted to do was the biggest question. Then we looked around, and then we saw the first mile and the last mile is always been a biggest issue. It's a completely disorganized. It's very haphazard, and patients are the the sufferer. So in this space, that's where we wanted to play using technology and some amount of operational excellence. Even if we can bring in some amount of semblance, that will be a great opportunity for us from the business point of view. At the same time, it's a huge opportunity for the whole market to revive and ensure the patient care is taken care. So that's the whole concept, how we started eSahai. And when we looked around and did a lot of research, and we realized that the vendors who provide the ambulance services and the mobility for different needs, it's been a big, huge lacuna in the market. So that's the space we wanted to be able to play.
eSahai began operations by creating a platform that could send over ambulances to locations within the vicinity of a hospital or healthcare center. And now they operate not only in Hyderabad but in Vizag as well, and have a fleet of over 160 ambulances under them. However, eSahai does not just entail aggregating ambulances. They are a medical taxi and transport management company. Medical taxis are ambulances that help post-surgery patients reach their homes after the hospital stay. The taxis are vans fitted with special seating to make the ride back home a comfortable one.
It's been brilliant, and as I mentioned, since the time we've launched commercially in April 2017, and we've been growing almost about 20-30% month on month since the time we've launched. And about a few months ago, we've launched in Visakhapatnam as well. First, we started in Hyderabad, and then we've launched in Visakhapatnam because that's a next big city in Telugu-speaking states. And the response has been fabulous. Both the products we have. One is the ambulance aggregation, which we do, the private network of ambulances we do, like an Uber model for ambulances. At the same time, we also have a mobility solutions, transport mobility solutions for elderly people and people with different needs and special needs. And we have a special fleet, which is front seat turns 90 degrees outward. It comes about 10 inches outside as well. It becomes very convenient for anybody who's some amount of inconvenience in walking. So they can easily come close to the vehicle and sit on the seat, and the seat goes inside. And the driver is sensitized about how to transport these particular people. And we also have a wheelchair in every vehicle which is in the boot. So it makes it much more convenient for the person to traveling around, and they can go wherever they want to. Our drivers are trained especially to take care of these people, and also we instruct our driver not to go beyond 30-40 kilometers per hour. So it becomes much more easily for these people to go around.
We will place our ambulances in such a way, every 5 kilometers radius, 2 to 3 ambulances will be parked. So that at any point of time, when we get a call, within 5 kilometers, vehicle will go and pick up the patient. So that's the reason we are able to maintain 12 to 15 minutes as a response time. And so the different kinds of vehicles will be available in that particular areas. There's advanced life support vehicles and basic life support vehicles. So with these ambulances, we will handle all the emergency cases. At the same time, we have one more product called medical taxi, so which we will transfer non-emergency patients. We cannot say patients also, because if any discharge happens from particular hospital, so example, some deep replacement surgery happened, the patient cannot walk. So our medical taxi is suitable for those kind of patients. Mm-hmm. So as Hari said, the front passenger seat, it will rotate 90 degrees left and it will come out. So without placing his leg inside, the patient can easily sit in that seat. So driver will turn it on 0 degrees radius, and at the same time wheelchair will be available in the vehicle. So once we take them to their home, so driver will make patient to sit in the wheelchair and he will drop till his bed. So bed to bed transfer we can do with this medical taxis. People can reach out in both the ways. One is eSahai app. So which with a single click of a button they can get an ambulance. So once they click the button, immediately nearby ambulance will get alarm. So 4 to 5 vehicles will get alarm. Whichever driver accepts first, immediately he will rush to the emergency location. So and the second model, they can reach out as an 24/7 customer support number 040 47911. So this number will be available 24/7. So they can book an ambulance or medical taxi by calling our customer care number or by our eSahai app.
While aggregating ambulances is easy enough, the challenge for eSahai lies in increasing their utilization. So they often say that a pizza arrives faster than an ambulance in the country. So how do you manage to bridge that time gap?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question. See, that's the whole purpose of me launching eSahai, as I mentioned earlier, right? So what we do is when we did the research across the city, and we pick up pockets which are where the high density population, both from the population side as well as the hospital side as well. And we do pick up the vendors and ambulances accordingly, and we position them dynamically. So that if there is, for example, if there is Secunderabad area, particularly say Sainik Puri, and somebody is in situation, so they call us up. So what we do is we pick up ambulances in and around that area, so we station them. So as soon as we get a call, which is on a 24/7 operation number, which is 47911 So somebody calls on that number, immediately we alert the driver or the ambulance in that area, and so that you can reach the destination as fast as possible. So today we're talking about between 12 to 15 minutes average time where we can deliver the vehicle at the location. So, and we keep improvising on that, and we're also working through the technology solutions to manage this and make it much more faster. And we are the first ones to create a green corridor, virtually green corridor in urban areas. We're working through the modalities at the moment. What it talks about is that we've developed a system wherein there is a smartphone with the driver as well as with the traffic cop, and these two guys talk to each other, and traffic police will have an opportunity to divert the traffic when the ambulance is approaching, and so which will enable the ambulance to pass through without stopping at the traffic light. So if you're talking about 2-3 traffic lights in every journey, so we're talking about saving about 10 minutes or so, which is a huge advantage. So the idea is to give at least about 40-45 minutes of time to the doctor to revive the patient in the golden hour. So that's our effort, and we are progressing very positively towards that goal of 9 minutes or under. So that's where we are.
The green corridor concept absolutely sounds amazing, and good wishes to you guys for it. But what kind of tie-ups do you have in place right now? Do you have tie-ups with doctors or maybe hospitals? What are the kind of tie-ups that you have at the moment?
Yeah. So we have a good tie-ups in both Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam, because majority of the patients will be available in the hospitals. Okay, and they need our services. Even hospitals also in Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam. If you take any other city, medium and small size hospitals, they won't have enough ambulance fleet. So whenever they require, they will give us a call. So immediately we will send our ambulance and we'll pick up the patient, we'll drop at hospital. So and majority of the hospitals are using our services for emergency pickups as well as the discharges. Okay. So at the same time, apart from the hospitals, we have tie-ups with rehabilitation centers and old age homes, physiotherapy centers, where they need medical taxi services.
And you started just last year in 2017. So what was your initial investment into eSahai really like?
Yeah, you're right. We started in 2017, and so far we've been funded by friends and family at the moment, and we are actively pursuing the next round of funding. So we've raised about $500,000 so far. So we are aggressively looking for the next round of funding, and hopefully we should be able to close that in next couple of months. That's where we are. To add to what Srinivas mentioned about our tie-ups, and we work with very large institutions across the city, both Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam. And to talk about one of the largest hospitals, we just been started in Gachibowli. So we are the sole transportation partners for them. So, and with a very competitive bidding, we were able to get that contract. So since that time, and we've been working with them, and it's been a great experience for us. So we're also learning as we go along, and it's not that we have not made any mistakes, and we did make mistakes, and the mistakes are the foundation for us to learn and then move on. So we've been learning as we progress, but it's been a great journey so far, and we're able to convince a lot of B2B customers, hospitals and institutions. At the same time, the biggest satisfaction comes when a patient says that they were happy about our services. At the same time, I know somebody's life has been saved because that ambulance could go on time, and somebody's life has become very, very convenient because they're able to use our medical taxi. So some of these comments, and when the customers come and tell us that how happy they are, it keeps us going every day and try doing different things and make the whole process more efficient.
You spoke about how it's a great journey, so I'm sure the great journey also converted into you gaining a good turnover. So what does your current turnover really stand at?
Okay, so on an average we are doing 18 to 20 lakhs per month, and these numbers are going up day by day and month by month.
And what is the next plan, the big plan really like? What's next for eSahai?
We are scaling up at the moment, and as I mentioned, we have not even covered about 10% of the market. It's huge, both in the mobility space as well as the ambulance space. So our next 6 months journey is to cover more of Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam, and also a few more cities in the twin states. At the same time, also launch in a couple of other cities as well. So we have three cities in mind at the moment: Pune, Chennai, and Bangalore. So hopefully, if all goes well, the next 6 months we should be able to launch in three cities. And then the old model talks about launching in about 20 cities or 25 cities in next 2 to 2.5 years. So that's how we're growing, and it's been fabulous so far. The response from the customer side, response on the patient side. At the same time, the investors' interest also has been increasing. Every time I speak to an investor, so there's a lot of interest coming from their side as well. So it's been an overall good progress, I must say. It needs to pick up. Every investor looks at how scalable is this business and how much of revenues we can generate. Is it going to be 3x, 4x, or 10x of their investment? So some of these questions still need to be answered because it's absolutely greenfield area. Nobody ever touched this. It's just about 2.5 years. There are some more startups also in this space, which is good for us. So industry is also going through some amount of consolidation as well. So overall, I would say this sector is growing and a very interesting sector in the healthcare space, I must say.
And in the next 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? Where do you see eSahai?
Okay, so we want to see eSahai in pan-India, in rural areas also. Whenever patient required an ambulance, our ambulance has to go. So we want to be in that stage in the next 5 years.
There are several ambulance aggregators in the market, but making available ambulances not just on time but also equipped to handle trauma with the right care is still not perfected in the Indian ecosystem. However, by harnessing technology and value-added services, startups like eSahai will go a long way in disrupting the Indian healthcare industry.